If you have a fairly large report and you're looking for a particular piece of data, then you can actually search the report. So with yourself in preview mode for a report, in this case I've taken the My First report, which is available in your working folder. We can search through the body of this report, and I know there are about 12 pages in it, really very quickly. Now there are two search methods. The first is to bring up the search dialog box, which can be instigated with Ctrl F. The search dialog box then appears, remembers your last search. I must have been searching for Campbell last. Let's search for Smith. Now we can choose to match the case, in which case it must find Smith in totally lowercase because that's how I've typed it. Or it must match the whole word, so one of the data values must be Smith. And I can search up or down, depending on where I am in the report. Well, I'm on page 1, so I need to be searching down through the rest of the report. But sometimes you may be partway through and only wish to search backwards, so effectively up from where you are at that moment in time. So I'm searching for Smith. It doesn't have to match the case, and it doesn't have to be a full word of Smith. So it could be Smith inside something else, like Smithson. Find next, we'll find the first occurrence, and there it is. Selects it. Find next, finds the next occurrence, and there it is in the email address. Find next, somebody else in their email address, Smith, John Smith, Smith down here. So it's going through the report. Each next is finding the next person or the next occurrence of Smith. It gets to the end, it says SAP Crystal Reports has finished searching the document. So it's got to the last occurrence of Smith. Now that's fine, but what happens if we wanted to go back to one of the previous ones? Well, we could use up and effectively ask it to go backwards. So it's now going up through the document. Smith, Smith. The other disadvantage is that the find box is in front of the screen. So if it actually obscures, you've noticed I've already had to move it when it's obscured what you've got selected. And again, it's obscuring, so I need to move down. So it has its uses, works quite happily off the keyboard shortcut, Ctrl F, just like pretty much every other program with a find facility. Or you can go to Edit and Find, and that activates the search dialog box. In here you can type a word or a phrase, and you can ask it to match the case only. So if I left that as Smith lowercase and said match case, it would effectively find no one, because nobody has got a lowercase s on their Smith. So that can be quite useful when you're trying to filter what you're looking for. So that's the search box. Now there is another way of searching for text in a report, and it's a method I really quite like. So if we cancel the find box, come across to this left hand side, this pane here, and you'll find there's a find option. One click on find, this pane now becomes the find pane. I'm just going to resize it, just so I can see more really. Now if this pane is not visible, because it's been turned off, like so the pane's not there, we can reactivate it with this icon here. Toggle the preview panel, and it comes back on. So it's an on-off option. We've got find selected from the bottom. This is now a find area, and I can click in here to select what I'm looking for. So if I do the same search of Smith, now there is a choice here in the drop down of matching the case or matching the whole word only. So those two options were available in the find dialog box anyway. I'm going to leave them both deselected and just click the search icon. And you'll see it then displays all the results in this left hand panel without jumping through the report, which means I can look through and go, oh yeah, that occurrence there. This one on page 8, I'd like to look at that. So I can double click and it will jump to that point of the report. Or perhaps it's John Smith I'm after. Double click, it jumps to that part of the report. So instead of the find dialog box effectively working linearly from one occurrence to the next occurrence to the next occurrence to the next occurrence, if you use the find search dialog box here on the left, you can see all the occurrences and then decide which one you're actually looking for. Perhaps it was Mary Smith. Double click, I'm taken to Mary Smith's record. So that will work for anything you want to look for in your report. Maybe looking for people born in 1966. So I type my search criteria and then search, and it finds 6 results of 1966. 3 on page 1, 2 on page 2, and 1 on page 3. This makes the pop-up dialog box for find ineffectual really, because I quite like this. Regardless of the number of results, it will list them here and you can then jump to where you want to go.